Hi everyone, in this video it is a reply to an email which I got a wee while ago, so sorry for not replying back straight away. And it's a good question, and I don't know if I've got the answer, but hopefully you guys can all help a little bit as well. Now, this person, I'll just read his email out. It says, in the US market, my experience has been, my friend has a camera. So he's obviously talking about he's a professional photographer, and when he's marketing himself to other people, they're saying, oh, but my friend's got a camera, they can take the photos. So he's wondering, how do I overcome this, my friend's got a camera, or Uncle Jimmy's got a camera? How do I overcome this frugality of potential customers? Seems like my wall is the potential customer's ability to save money over quality of work. Quite a few established photographers have given up or closed shop due to this. I'm keeping a stiff upper lip, British, but do I have to go back to step one, giving stuff away for free time and labour, to keep getting jobs? What are my thoughts? Okay, so effectively it's not asking for my advice, it's just more my thoughts. And hopefully my thoughts can make you guys give some advice as well. So what are my thoughts on this? Right, hold on, need more coffee. It's a fact that, well, without a doubt, it's a fact that many photography jobs, which in the past may have been given out to a lone professional, is now being given out to people's uncles. Uncle Jimmy is getting the photography work. What I would also say is that in times gone past, for example, I know of the town up in the Highlands where my parents have got a house, Aviemore had one photographer for the whole place, and there would only be one place where he would be able to get his photos. You know, like if you were getting married, you would get this photographer, he would take the photos. There was nobody else to really choose because he's the only one that had a camera. Well, other people had a camera. He's the only one that knew how to use a camera, how to develop the film, and I think he had his own film studio. Like a film development darkroom. Oh God, I'm so digital. And so there's only really one person. Nowadays, there's about 10 photographers up. There's some that are landscape, some that are portraits, some that are wildlife and all that kind of stuff. So pretty much you've got your, as a customer, you can kind of go, oh, I'm getting married. Do I want this single guy who's done hundreds of weddings? Or do I like this guy who does beautiful landscapes, but is a really nice guy and is half the price? People probably go, if you can take landscapes, you can take portraits. And that's where we can't educate everyone to go, actually, landscapes to weddings are a completely different thing. There's no kind of relation to it whatsoever. You have to be able to do some landscapes as a wedding photographer, but as a landscape photographer, the amount of social interaction, crowd control, and timing and seeing what's going to be happening in the wedding, that a wedding photographer does, there's just no helping each other there. But the average person out in the street will kind of go, oh, but he's really good at taking photos of landscapes, and he's half the price. I'll go with him. So that's the difficulty there. Is that is the situation nowadays, that there are many more people taking photos, and customers haven't got cleverer. Because customers still think, oh, that person can take a photo, he can do my wedding. Or he can do my portrait or something. And not realising that there is a difference. So option one would be teach everyone the difference. That's never going to happen. No one's going to listen and no one's interested. So the other options that you've got your, as you're saying, people are choosing price over quality. So how do you fight against that? Well, let's say your work is significantly better than Uncle Jimmy's. I'm sure it is. There's no doubt about it. Especially when you're coming to something like a wedding. If you've done weddings, you've done quite a few of them, you know how to do it, then you're going to get better shots than the person using their pop-up flash somewhere. But sometimes people just aren't really that interested in high-end quality. I was hearing it on some show recently or something, I can't remember what it was. In fact, it might have been on Jared Pollin's kind of thing. He was talking about at music shows or something that some bands are saying, you're not allowed to take photos, no photos, if you take photos we're going to shine a light in your face. And I think he himself is just like going, fucking hell, chill out, people. It's, people want to take photos to remind them of the time. And that's kind of where I think a lot of people nowadays go, is that people are so used to their iPhones or their camera phones, or their little point and shoot photos, cameras and stuff, that whenever they go out for a party, whenever they go out for to a friend's house, whenever they go and do an event or something, they're just taking photos of that, and they look back at those photos with great happiness. They kind of go, "Oh, I was so happy with that." So they're not going, "Oh, that's the pixels and that aren't nearly big enough." So many people are looking at effectively poor quality images, but having great experiences with them because they have such an emotional response with them. So that's why people are thinking, I take 100 photos with this little camera at this party, I look at the photos later on, I'm really happy with them. I go, oh, I'm going for a bigger party, we need to get a photographer, oh, this guy's using a massive camera and charging loads, or this other guy just uses almost a slightly better camera than I do and is only a little bit more money. Brilliant, let's go with him. So it's like the fact that sometimes people don't really care about quality. Some people want quantity, and I've seen some people advertise that, saying, I can do 1,000 photos at your wedding and you will receive 900 fully edited photos. Oh my god, I would shoot myself in the head with that. How people can do that, I don't understand. With however much money you've got, there's no way you can take... Well, you can easily take 1,000 photos, but to be delivering anywhere near 900 of them is impossible. It's just been 900 shit photos, or where they haven't gone through and selected the ones where, okay, Uncle Jimmy's blinking there, somebody's in the way, that one's a bit shit, and they've just given you all of them apart from the ones where they've focused on the wrong thing. So that's what I would advise everyone to be really worried about. Right, where am I going here? Where am I going here? So yeah, so a lot of people aren't feeling the need for a professional, especially when lots of Uncle Jimmys can do it with a camera which is a little better than their current one, and makes photos a little bit better. And also the fact is, having a friend taking your photos, they're part of the enjoyment of the time of the ceremony, or whatever it is that it is. So instead of having a stranger coming into their lives for one day to take photos, a lot of people kind of going, I'd rather somebody I know, my uncle kind of thing, and get work there. So the only thing that the biggest amount of wedding work that you can get, I'm sorry, I don't know if this is just about weddings, this is about anything, okay, but I'm going down the wedding aisle here. The thing about wedding is that I put an advert in Scottish Wedding Factory.com or something, or some magazine and all that kind of stuff. Utter waste of money. All the work that I've had is from recommendations, from people who have been at weddings which I've been at and I've taken photos of. And also the other thing was that a lot of people said, no way Dom, that was amazing, you got your photos out that night. I'm still waiting for my photos 2 months down the line. So you've also got the speed of delivery, the quality of the work, the price of the work and all that stuff. There's many things that you've got to kind of take into factor. So one of the things that you could say is, or one of the things that I know that some people complain about, is the fact that they'll get a professional wedding photographer and it will take at least 2 months before they get all the photos. That's how it is. That's what's going to happen. For a professional photographer to shoot a whole wedding from 10 in the morning till 10 at night, 12-hour shift, taking easily over 1,000 photos, unless you've got a second photographer, then you're up to about almost 2,000 photos potentially, depending on the size of the wedding. Then to go through all of them, select all of them, stop the blindness. You've seen a video that I've done in the past where I've said that people, like, if you edit, after a while you go back and go, oh my god, I've edited them all crap, and you have to redo them all again. So you've got to do like blocks of 10 photos at a time, so you don't get this editing blindness. I'm sure there's a term for that. Repetitive editing injuries. I don't know. Where is it going there? I've gone off something else. So, so it's a 2 months situation, that it takes that long to get through them all, then edit them all, then process them all, then get sure that you're happy with them, and then deliver them. So that's why it can take 2 months, no problem. But what I do is I will say I'm going to edit these photos. I'm going to give you roughly around about 200 photos, or 200 to 300, depending on the size, all that kind of stuff. But I will say I'll try and get some photos up straight away so you can see these. And one of my friend Cameron's wedding, we went and did some shoots at the end of the night, and I was like, cool, great shots of him like diving onto a bed and stuff like that. And then I was like, right, I'm off home. I'll try and get these online so you can see them. So I raced at home, got on the computer, download, and then the 3 or 4 photos which I knew which were cool, I went straight through the file system, got them, did a quick edit, and shoved them up onto Facebook, and I just tagged him in it for him to see. And he was just like, no, they were still in the party partying, and people were seeing. So we'd done a staged shot of as if it was them going to their room at the end of the night. So it's them kind of like, oh, we're so tired, or oh, we're knackered, or woo, I'm on the bed having fun. Not that kind of fun. Right, I'll show you. Hold on. So here you go. Here's an example. I was up the stairs and I was shooting down. And I said, right guys, pretend it's the end of the night and you're knackered and you've come in from the party, and just like snuggle into each other kind of thing. And they're like, okay, cool, did that. And then we went and did another one where we went upstairs and did that shot. A mid-air flying shot of the bedroom. Thought that was awesome. So that was the kind of thing which I put up online straight away, and everyone was like, no way, we're still at the party. How come you're already in bed? Everyone was really confused. But that got a lot of people talking straight away, and I've had quite a few recommendations from that. So you've got both the speed of delivery, your price, which is the different thing we're going to talk about in a second, the quality of the work. Now, does your work need to be fantastic? Well, the thing is, sometimes fantastic work can put people off. Some people can go, oh my god, that guy's photos are amazing, he's probably too expensive, I'll look somewhere else. Sometimes the work will be so good that it puts people off straight away because they think you would be too expensive, especially if your client base, so this is really all about if your client base are not the high end, we want to look as good as possible, but you've got the high end, we want to look as good as possible, you've got to make us look good. And then you've got the kind of cheaper end where it's like, I just want a record of the day and just to remind me of the happy times that I had. So that's the kind of scale that we're going from. It's like, make me look good and awesome, and that I'll have, you'll go into some people's houses and have photos of themselves all modelling and posing around their house. You kind of go, that's a bit weird. You'll go around somebody else's houses and be them drunk on the floor going, ha, kind of like some of the ones in here. So think about where your client base is, and if your images are the kind of stuff that would be like for the people, oh yes, we want you to make it look as good as possible, but your client base are kind of, we just want a happy times of the day, then yeah, you're going to either have to chill out on the quality, and that's not really going to happen if you're good, or make sure that you are promoting and advertising that you're having a range of services, so that you have that simple, we can go around and shoot your photo day, and we can also offer this awesome super mega package. And I think that's the kind of main thing as in business terms, is that you don't say, I'm a photographer, I can take photos. You go, I'm a photographer, I can take this type of photo, that type of photo, high-end photos, low-end photos, party photos, all that kind of stuff. Especially now, like, I would say 10 years ago, if anybody started 10 years ago, then yeah, you could just come along and go, I can take photos, and you can start a business, no problem, because nobody else was doing it. Now there's a million people in your town that are taking photos, saying they're quite good, and some are actually pretty bloody good, and some people are learning very, very quickly of how to take photos. Some people just naturally have a better compositional eye as well. And so the fact that you're fighting with that, you're going to have to be both a hard-nosed businessman, but also a multitasking supergirl, so that you're able to do, I can do your wedding, I can do your kid's party, I can do your bar mitzvah. I don't know what that is. I'm sure, is that a Jewish thing? We don't have them in the UK. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure I heard it on Friends or something like that. So if you can say I could do parties, I could do landscapes, and what I'd always say is that when you don't have any work, still be doing work for yourself. So still be going out and capturing shots and updating your portfolio and doing potentially work for free. So whenever you are not working, make sure you are still working, so that you are still calling up models, calling up agencies, calling up friends, saying, hey, I've got this cool idea for a shoot, let's go do stuff. And And then with constantly updating your portfolio, people go, "Ah, cool new photo, cool new photo," and also the potentially people that you'll meet while you're doing your free work. Well, they will potentially say, "Oh yeah, you've made some really great photos of me. How about you? My friend can get some photos of me as well." So yeah, that's cool. How about you just charge me like 50 quid or something? Cool, no probs. And then they'll pass you on and pass you on, and then you develop your your paying customer base from your free time, fun, developmental friends base that you do. So I say so if you've always got your customer base up here that pay for stuff, if they are falling down, what you need to do is then rebuild your fun time happy people that will then potentially promote you without even having to pay for a single thing. And as I say, like paid adverts in magazines and all that stuff, I think are barely 5% their worth. You know, if there's £1,000 cost of an advert in a magazine, I would say you probably it's probably not even worth 50 quid. I would if they said we're having a discount of £1,000 advert, I'd be like, cool. Is it £50? No, it's £500. Like, no, I'm not interested. Not interested at all. So that's the only thing I would say is that if you know professional, established. That's the thing. The word that you use here, established photographer. So maybe somebody is an established portrait photographer. How many people are needing to get their portraits nowadays, considering the number of people are selfieing themselves and sticking that up on Model Mayhem and all that kind of stuff? So there is a drop in overall quality everywhere, but you've got to be able to fight that overall quality by making sure, you've got to fight that overall drop in quality with kind of having more people know you, more people look at your images, more people thinking that's actually pretty good, more people not being feared off by thinking, damn, his prices must be good because, or his prices must be high because they go, wait, I know he's done work with my friend somewhere like that. And I think that's one way, especially if you're in a smaller town, you can build that way. The other thing is price. Okay, if we go back to wedding stuff here, I would say it's almost impossible to do a wedding which is worth your money for less than £800, I think, depending on the size again. If you think about the amount of hours that you put into it, so a full, what do you call it, a 10 to 10 wedding, 12 hours, let's say, hold on, I need a calculator for this. Okay, let's just say you're charging yourself the absolute minimum, or a fraction more than minimum wage. So let's say it's £7, and for that day, you're doing it for a good 12 hours. So that's 84 quid. Oh my god. And then when you're selecting and editing the photos, let's say you've done 1,000 photos, that I would say usually takes twice as long as the actual shooting. So for me, I would say that's going to be about 20 hours of selecting and editing. So 84 plus 20 times 7 is 140. Then you've got to add on your travel and expenses for that kind of thing. Usually, if I'm driving there and all that kind of stuff, well, depending again on how far it is, but even if it's a city kind of thing, I would still say you've got to add on at least 30 quid. Or what to do is always add on the price of whatever it would be if your car broke down and you had to get a taxi. Whew, right, Edinburgh, anywhere in a taxi is probably going to be about plus 40 quid. Next thing I would say that you've got to charge for is you've got to have, well, insurance, yes, but you can't have that for the whole year round. So we'll just say that's an extra 20 quid for that. Oh, bollocks. Where was I? Okay, we'll say around about 260. And then the main thing is you've got to have the ability to, if for some reason your house gets burgled, your car gets broken into, or just stuff breaks down, and you need to rent the equipment that you're going to be using for the wedding. So the minimum, I would say, is a high-end camera, Nikon D700 or better, and at least a 24 to 70. You could probably get away with that. That's the main thing. Now, for renting both of those, That's certainly the D600 something is around about 120 for the weekend, because you usually can't deliver it back on the Sunday, so it's usually 120 for that, and the lens is around about 100 or about £90 as well. So we'll just call that a good extra 200 plus 200. But the thing is, to rent those, you've usually got to pay the full amount. The full amount beforehand, so once you give it back, you get your deposit back, the full amount, minus the rental charge. So you're around about 460. Then you've got to think, once you've given them their photos and all that stuff, the extra time of editing the album, which I would say is usually at least 10 hours. Obviously you can get more efficient, but if you're putting your time in and all that, I would say you can do that. So let's go plus another 70. And then it's the making of the album and delivering of the album. So usually I do pretty big ass albums. Let's see. They're all in there, but usually big ones like that with thick ass paper and all that kind of stuff. And usually around about, where was I? It's about 30 to 40, 50 pages kind of thing, depending on how many photos that they select. But that usually, once I've added all that up and put my logo on it, that's usually about 100 quid in itself. So that equals plus 100. Cool. Now, so okay, 630. I would say is probably the absolute minimum you can get if you're doing it. If you're doing it, yeah, that really is the absolute minimum. So you've got to think, when people are saying, "Oh, I'll do your whole wedding plus deliver 25 photos and all that kind of stuff," and yet they're doing it for £200 or £250, you kind of think, why are they doing that? And you kind of think, well, the first thing, as a photographer, I would go in, yeah, these people don't know shit, and they're probably learning on the job. The fear of somebody learning on the job is that they don't know how to do shit if shit hits the fan. So if something goes wrong, or it's a rainy day, or you can't go outside, or the worst one is, if it is a sunny day and people go outside and they go, oh my god, how do I deal with this harsh sunlight? You go, oh fuck, you don't know how to deal with this, right? Go away, I wish I got a professional. And the unfortunate thing is that so many people are having big events done by people who don't necessarily know what they're doing, and are then going, oh, I've made such a big mistake. There's no way to reverse that. That's the thing. There's no way to retreat or something like that. I would say it would be more beneficial to pay for 2 photographers than it would be an extra big wedding cake and an extra bunch of flowers and all that kind of stuff. For example, when Kim and I got married, we looked at the cost of feckin' flowers for the tables and the bouquet, and pinholes and all that stuff. Came up to £600. I was like, just for a bunch of flowers. Instead, what we did, we went to IKEA, got the fake flowers, put them in the vase, nobody knew the difference, and they last forever, so fantastic. So I would advise people can scrimp on many other things, but scrimping on photography is probably a bad idea. The photographer I used was Neil Stewart. I'll put a link down to his stuff down below, and he did a very, very good job. But I'm editing the photos. He's my friend, he took the photos for me, and I'm going to edit the photos. But I knew he's a professional photographer. I wasn't going for somebody who was cheap. I was going for somebody who I knew, A, who I knew, B, I knew was fun, C, knew could do it, and D, was there and available to do it as well, so all that kind of stuff. So, that's the thing. I would say, do you have to do stuff for free? I would say, yes, you do, but make that the stuff that you do to enhance your own portfolio and develop your client base. Yes, step up a little. Yeah, so I would say, if you are going to drop your prices, but have it so that you know that you're not putting as much effort. So if you're doing, I'm doing a 1,000 photo wedding from 10 to 10, don't go, this normally charges 800, okay, I'll just charge £200. Don't do that. Go, I will do an 800 or a 1,000 photo wedding and I'll still charge you 800. I also have another option where I just do from the actual dancing to the cutting of the cake or something like that, and then just say that one will be a lot cheaper. So having that option where people go, this photographer's not too expensive, brilliant, he's only £250, and they look at it and go, he's only there for 4 hours. So then people kind of go, fine, that's all we need him for. Therefore, you've got your client back. and it means you've got a heck of a lot less work to do, and it's probably just going to be options of digital files rather than making up whole albums. So a lot of people, I would say, yeah, a lot of people definitely just want memories of the day. And if your client base are that kind of people, you've got to have that option of, I can just come around and take some shots. But if your client base are, we want you to make us look good, then I would say make sure you've got that option up there as well. So it's both diversifying yourself laterally, horizontally, along the way by saying, I do both portraits, I do landscapes, I do dance photography, I do nightclub photography, I do all these kind of things, but then also doing horizontally, promoting yourself of going, I can do really good photos, I can do a full mega wedding, I can do a full mega wedding even if it's raining with digital files and video, and yet also I can do a cheap wedding where I can just come around and shoot the important parts of the day, or I can do this without an album and you just get digital files, or even at the very bottom I can shoot the photos, I can give you the raw files for you to edit yourself, and I will not want to be credited in any of that, because as a photographer you don't really want to be credited on something which you've shot but you haven't edited. That's like saying, that's like a what is that like? Is there a? It's like somebody catching some fish and saying, somebody goes fishing, catches a really nice fish, but then giving it to anyone. So it could be going to a Michelin star restaurant, or it could be going to McDonald's. You kind of go, just don't credit me until I know where it's gone. If once they've edited the photos and you've seen them, they put it online, you go, they're brilliant, yeah. Could you put a little comment saying these photos were taken by me, edited by you? Great. If you give it to someone and they don't do anything with them, or they're totally badly edited with white vignettes, why? Then I would say ask them, make sure they don't mention you in that kind of stuff, because that could be bad for your reputation. Anyway, sorry, Uncle Jimmy. Jim, that's my thoughts. Let me know if that helps, and if anyone else out there has got other ideas, or you think I'm talking total shit, please let me know. Tell me down below. But very interested to hear what other people's thoughts are as well. Okay, cheers everyone. Bye bye.